Today, I filled my gas tank at $3.50, costing me $50 to fill my tank to full. Back 20 years ago, in November 1992, it only cost $1.10 to a gallon. It was about 3/4 less of what we pay today. I was born November 18th, 92, here in Michigan, and when I did my research, I found out that there was a ton of historical things and events that happened in my birthday month, which is pretty cool. Things that I'm unaware of because I'm only a month old, compared to talking to my mom or dad about them, and they had complete recollection of many of the events that did occur. Starting with November 1st, the space shuttle of S-76S2, the Columbia 13, landed. It was scheduled to land on that exact same day, so it was planned and accomplished, and it's All Saints Day too, so it was a pretty blessed day. On November 3rd, Bill Clinton beat President Bush in the presidential election. President Bush only served one term, and Bill Clinton then took over for the next two. November 3rd, the same day Bill Clinton came into presidency, Carol Moseley Brown was elected the first black female into the U.S. Senate. With all of the racial things that have happened in the last 40 years, 50 years, that was a big mark on that day. November 9th, just a week later, Howard Stern actually started his own radio show and was broadcasted in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was such a hit in the first 2 weeks of his radio show that he actually was awarded another radio channel that he was broadcasting to at the same time for several years. 2 days later, on November 11th, the Anglican Church in the Church of Churches okayed female priests. That was a pretty big thing because in the Catholic religion, female priests were not allowed ever, and for this to happen really marked a day for many females. A day later, November 12th, in the sports category, the New York Yankee pitcher, Steve Howe, is actually reinstated for the 8th time. And he actually served with the New York Yankees for, I believe, 6 of them besides his last one. So that was a pretty big deal for him. It's nowhere compared to the contracts that they signed today and for the money that they deal with, but it was still a big contract he signed for it to be his 8th time. On November 17th, Dateline NBC actually interviewed General Motors. They actually rigged tests. They completely slandered General Motors' name, and it came back that NBC completely came with false information, and General Motors did slam them. So a day later, November 18th, which is actually my birthday, Malcolm X came out, and it premiered in the United States with Denzel Washington in it. It was in the box office running for about 3 months, and it was a huge hit. So that was a big movie during 1992. Also, How Do You Talk to an Angel by The Heights came out November 14th to November 27th. Until I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston came out November 28th, a day later, and it hit the running charts for almost a year after that. November 1992 was a big year for many people in music, in sports, in history. After that, 93 was pretty boring, so